the waist over. Blow out and take over, I'm the truth. Give you proof, catch a video, shoot. Pull them on you while them cameras on you. How you love
The 2K Sports pregame show.
Action at the AT&T Center. We're in San Antonio, Texas, the home of the Spurs, live on 2K Sports. Ready? Looking at San Antonio, they took the win in their last game against the Rockets in Houston. And just one look at the score tells you all you need to know. They were dominant in just about every area.
And the deciding factor in that one was their success from the floor. I mean, they just hit big shots time and time again.
Yeah, just the way you want it when you're the road team. Don't even give the fans a chance to get into it.
And now the opening lineup for Detroit. Jackson and Caldwell Pope, the guards. John Lewis out there with Andre Drummond. And it's Morris in at the 3 slot. Got that bucket in no time at all. Leonard's got the first points on the scoreboard for the Spurs. On defense, San Antonio.
Well, you know that Kawhi Leonard has an incredible reach with his arms, but even his hands are just massive, measured at 10 inches long and 11 inches wide. Wow.
Now here's Drummond. He had 16 points in the win against Toronto.
Yeah, but he was the ultimate two-way player. Defensively, also doing a great job. A couple blocks in that game as well.
Here is Parker. After the made shot from Andre Drummond. Good-looking screen by Gasol. And that one goes in as he is fouled. It'll be 3 points if he converts at the line. Well, to give some perspective on Leonard's hand size that Greg was talking about, Clark, those measurements, 11 by 10, are what you typically would find on 7-footers. Well, this kid's 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah, and I'm 6'9", and I'm about 9 by 7, okay?
Huh.
So that just lets you know.
Wow.
The only other hands comparable to that, Dr. J.
Ooh, that's huge. Now here's Jackson. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Toronto. The dish to Morris. Gasol with the rebound.
Really just struggling here in the first few minutes. 5 attempts with only 1 falling. A really good rebound in traffic. That's what the big fella's there for.
Jackson kicks to Morris. Again, the miss by Morris.
Man, that is a missed opportunity right there.
And he'll be the first to tell you, Greg, that's one he should have knocked down.
Outside Leonard. Now about 2 minutes gone here in the first quarter. No luck. And it's Detroit the other way. This game coming on the heels of their win against Toronto.
The thing I took away from that game was just how dominant they were on the backboard.
Well, it would have been hard not to see how dominant they were based on the numbers. I mean, they just completely dominated the glass.
Wow, that's a really smooth finish.
That's why we and they always love seeing him at the end of those breaks. He makes it look fun and easy.
Now here's Jackson. He's a solid producer, averaging nearly 22 points a game. Here's Drummond. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. They get Paul Gasol. And guys, Andre Drummond has made quite an impression in the early stages of his career. Clark, you were just talking about that. Greg, I don't think anyone felt he would have such an impact this fast.
Yeah, I mean, he's already a mountain of a man among boys. I mean, it's hard to believe when you look at this guy out there. He's only 22 years old.
So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Going back to Andre Drummond, some say there aren't any true centers entering the NBA these days. But I look at Andre, I look at DeMarcus Cousins, Joel Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns, and I think to myself, what are these people talking about?
First one falls for him.
And talking about Andre Drummond, I remember when he fell to number 9 on draft day. All sorts of experts were making excuses as to why. But even then, there was this eerie feeling that some teams had made a huge mistake in passing on him. And that feeling turned out to be correct.
The drive by Jackson. That one's in. His first bucket of the game. He's 1 for 2.
Oh, that is just weak defense there. I'm pretty sure that was not the plan to give him those kind of baskets at the hoop.
Now here is Aldridge. He's coming off a 22-point game against the Rockets in Houston. And the shot is good.
Excellent ball movement there, guys.
And that's keyed this run. Passing it with purpose. The D hasn't been able to keep up.
Here's Jackson. 8-point game. To the middle. Here's Drummond. And he stuffs it. What a pass to set him up.
I like the fact that he led his teammate right to the ideal spot. You don't always throw it to your teammate. You throw it to where he needs to be.
Parker. An amazing finish with the hand right in his face.
How about the way he's able to angle his body to shield the big fella off and still get the finish?
You've got to be clever with your sleight of hand when you get inside and try to finish against the bigger guys. And he made it look easy that time.
And he gets it. To go.
Oh, such a field shot there, the floater.
San Antonio leading by 6. Feeds it to Aldridge. Dishes it to Gasol. Back to Aldridge. And stolen by Drummond. Here's Caldwell Pope. He picked up 15 points in their last win against Toronto.
Heads up play there, guys, on the assist and the finish.
San Antonio's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. Pass to Gasol. Outside, Green takes a 3. Rebound, Detroit. Their last encounter was in Detroit.
And they had to scrape and claw to get the win the last time these two teams went head-to-head. It came down to a few key free throws at the end.
Yeah, you know, Greg, when a game gets snug or tight, that's where KG teams often execute and get easy offense. Either they get to the line or they get something inside, and if they do get to the line, they make them count.
Just not happy with how his team is playing, and they just have been on the wrong side of this run.
Yeah, and you know what, Greg? Sometimes just a pause in the action, which is what a timeout can give you, is enough to change things around.
A different look now for San Antonio. Lee's checked in for Gasol. Ginobili comes in for Green, and it's Mills in for Parker. He's checked in for the Pistons. Matthew Dellavedova comes in for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Now here's Mills. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 7.5 points a game. Rejected by Ginobili. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Pistons will retain possession. And Detroit has possession. Trailing by 2. There's the pass to Dellavedova. Outside Jackson. He feeds it to Morris. Just 4 to shoot. The Pistons need to get off a shot here. Can't tie it up as that one misses. Pass to Leonard. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. Mills. Can't hit.
He certainly didn't take advantage of the poor defense, but they can't count on him to continue missing.
I tell you what, I think he'd be happy if he can continue to get looks like that. And really smart to draw his man out to the perimeter. He's giving up too much size to be effective inside.
Showed nice basketball IQ. I agree, Greg. I mean, if he finds his spot on the perimeter and doesn't force it, I think his outside shot will be hard to block no matter who's defending.
And Aldridge slams it in.
Great job to hit his teammate on that move, Kevin.
For Detroit, they've gone an even 50% from the field. They are 7 of 14 for the game.
And Detroit with a 32-50 record last season. They didn't have any help from the schedule. They had a total of 22 back-to-back series on the year, tied for most in the league.
Now here's Jackson. Tipped away. And Ginobili with a clear path to the rack.
Well, that's why they're on the lead. Aggressive play at both ends. Very nicely done there.
Absolutely. They make the steal, pay dividends instantly on the fast break.
And it's out of bounds. And they say it was last touched by Leonard. A different look here for Detroit. Tobias Harris is checked in for Andre Drummond. Johnson comes in for Morris. And it's Ish Smith in for Jackson. And Detroit has possession. 4-point game. Shakes off the strong D and gets to the bucket for two. Greg, you just said the Pistons had a ton of back-to-back games. 44 were part of their back-to-backs, over half their schedule. Clark, they went 15 and 29 in those games.
And that's part of the reason why the NBA wanted to examine the schedule. I mean, it was a tough year for the Pistons. It's hard to get any momentum when you're playing that many back-to-backs.
Nice shot by Ginobili.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
That's right. 5 of their last 6 makes were on the interior. They've established their inside presence.
Now here is Smith. 8 points his last outing.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job.
Mills with it, covered by Smith. Mills dishes to Aldridge. And another basket for San Antonio.
Boy, they are passing the ball very crisply right now.
They really are, and their last 3 buckets have come by way of an assist.
And Patrick Mills gets that whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game. A different look now for San Antonio. Kyle Anderson comes in for LaMarcus Aldridge. And it's Bertans in for Leonard. Harris against Anderson. And it's Harris off the drive. Just 5 to shoot. 3-pointer. Dellavedova. Mills with the rebound. Spurs leading by 6. The kick out to Anderson. Ginobili the pass to Anderson. And there's the feed to Lee. Puts up the baby hook. And he wheels that one in. Sinking right through off the back iron.
And that's going to increase more. They have a huge edge in that category.
And that's because they've been playing smart basketball. I mean, they've been very patient offensively. And their shot selection has been superb.
Now here is Harris. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Marjanovic, and a good offensive board, and he gets the bucket.
How about the perseverance there, the extra effort on that offensive glass?
52 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Now here's Mills, covered by Smith. And here's Mills. Launches a 3, and he gets it to go. And the Spurs lead by 9.
Everything going according to the script for them offensively so far.
Clark, shots be falling. That's for sure. They're scoring with a tremendous amount of confidence.
You went straight playground old school there, partner.
Detroit with the ball, following the 3-pointer by San Antonio.
If you're waiting for him to miss when he's that open, you're going to be in for a long wait.
dishes it to Ginobili. Anderson outside. Back to Ginobili. No good on the buzzer beater. And that does it for the first quarter. Spurs out in front. They're up by 7. After this break, we'll be back with the start of the second quarter on... And the Gasol brothers, both starters in the All-Star game last season. It's the first time that's happened.
It's like a dream come true. It's hard to really picture it. I'm just proud to be Mark's brother.
Well, their story is a bit like a fairy tale, the way two of them, sons of medical professionals in Spain, have become two of the best centers in the NBA of this era.
Yeah, and especially, Kevin, when you remember what a raw talent and how big and bulky Marc Gasol was when he was drafted by the Lakers. Who traded him to Memphis for his brother.
And as we return, it's Noche Latina, celebrating the NBA's connection to the Latin American community. And taking a look at San Antonio's performance here, what do you think they've been doing or not doing?
Just almost an intimidating factor when you're able to go out and consistently come up with the block shots like they have defensively.
Well, what happens is shooters begin to start looking for the shot blockers. And it does intimidate him.
We've got Green. David Lee is out there with Anderson. Then it's Mills. And it's Bertans in at the 3 spot. That's the San Antonio 5. Harris with it. He's picked up by Lee. Here's Caldwell Pope. Back to Drummond. Out to Harris. The 3. And the shot is good. Harris has got 5 points so far.
A wide open 3. They need much better communication defensively.
Now Mills. He has 6. Lee goes in. An easy layup after coming off the pick. Lee's got his second bucket of the night.
Now how about how he sets his man up there, runs him right into the screen, and then gets the basket. And guys, every time we think Patty Mills is going to take the next step in his development, he takes a step back. Last season, he shot career lows from the field and behind the arc after having one of his best ever campaigns the year before. That really just makes a coach pull his hair out, and fortunately for me, I don't have it.
And it's Drummond missing.
Oh, boy, that would have been a nice alley-oop.
Boy, really liked the thought on that play, but didn't quite get it executed. Almost made a spectacular play.
On the wing, Harris. Kicks to Caldwell Pope from deep. Scored the basket. His 4th. He's only missed 1 of his 5 shots tonight.
Not the biggest fan of that shot, but he had the space to get it off, so why not?
And Mills kicks to Lee. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. Inside, it's tipped. And here comes Smith leading the fast break. On the wing, Harris covered by Lee, and that one's good. And now it's just a 4-point Spurs lead. The Spurs have gone 3 of their first 5 shots to drop here in the second quarter. And for those of you just joining us, we're in the second quarter with about 3 minutes gone by. And Green gets it to go.
Great job from behind the arc this quarter. I mean, shooting just under 60% for the game. I mean, that's smoking.
Smith dishes to Lewis. It's out of bounds. The Pistons able to retain possession here.
And here's a look at some numbers for Anderson. How's the last month of basketball been for him? He's right around 5 points a night, 3 assists and 4 rebounds. And this is the kind of strong, steady play you like to see. He's earning his keep and helping them win games.
And guys, they're finally getting the consistency they wanted to see from him. Look for that to continue.
Here's what San Antonio's going with right now. Pau Gasol is checked in for Lee. Leonard comes in for Bertans. And Tony Parker subbed in for Patty Mills. Clock at 2. The 3 from Morris. That's good.
Marcus Morris.
And just over 3.5 minutes played here in the second quarter. Parker passes to Gasol. And Leonard has it in the corner. Boom, he jams it straight down.
Taking it to the rack with power right there.
And hammering down with the two-handed slam.
Just piling on the lead with the dunk like that.
Jackson against Parker. Here's Caldwell Pope. No good on the three. Spurs leading by 6. Leonard kicks to Parker. That's good. And it's Leonard with the assist. And that's now 6 points for Tony Parker. Detroit's gone 3 of 4 with the long-range bombs here in the second quarter. Parker against Jackson. Over in the corner, Caldwell Pope. And a kind roll that time off the rim as that one falls. Caldwell Pope's got 5 points in the quarter. San Antonio's gotten a success rate of just over 50% from three-point tonight. 4 of 7 shooting. Gasol drives in. Anderson dishes to Leonard. Nice pass, nice catch, and a reset. Dunk.
Tell you what, he can do a lot more damage to that rim than that when he wants to.
And you know, Clark, with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one.
Me too.
Well, I tell you what, I'm glad he didn't, because otherwise we'd probably have a 45-minute delay here if he shattered the backboard. And you don't ever want to get into the habit of letting the offense get to the rim.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, that's the message they were sending with that foul. Nothing easy inside.
LaMarcus Aldridge is checked in for Anderson. B's checked in for the Pistons.
And that's another area where he is just a superb player. Excellent at the free throw line.
And the wide open shot from Green. Detroit with the rebound.
And one thing that everybody loves about Coach Pop is his frankness. And you get a taste of it in interviews, but he's as honest and straightforward with you as he is with anybody else. Yeah, easy call.
Yeah, you can hear the smack all the way over here where we are.
Well, you've got Greg Popovich, and I think he puts this at times grumpy demeanor in a more of a spotlight. He's playing along, as we all know, with the sideline reporters. He knows, Greg, you know this firsthand, when to turn it on, when to turn it off. He can be as compassionate a person, Clark, that you and I have ever been around.
Yeah, he's competitive, but he understands that we're all human, and he treats people the right way all the time. That's something they need to do more of. Get after it on the glass. Go get those boards.
Clark, it wouldn't hurt. Some extra possessions would definitely help narrow the gap and maybe swing the momentum.
And the Pistons decide to take their first timeout right here.
Pau Gasol was the #3 pick back in 2001. He managed to average 18 and 9 his first season, was Rookie of the Year, became a perennial All-Star. There's no way his younger brother Mark, who was a second-round pick, could ever match up to that, right? Not so fast, people. Mark's pretty good, too.
Leonard kicks to Parker. That's good, and it's Leonard with the assist. Leonard's got 3 assists now in this one. And now we'll get a perspective here on how the hustle game has been going for the Spurs.
They've come out in attack mode on the defensive end. They've applied pressure and forcing turnovers.
Something else they've done right so far from the get-go tonight is run. I mean, so much of their offense has come off the fast break.
Talking about Pau and brother Mark, both of them were excellent last season. The difference is that Pau has always been considered a great prospect, so detractors are much harder on him when they see cracks, I think, Greg, in his game.
Yeah, you know, for Marc Gasol, it can only exceed expectations because they started out so low. I'd simply say that if I had to pick between one or the other for best career, I'd do everything I could to pick both.
Good way to get out of it. Good answer. San Antonio making a switch here. Ginobili's checked in.
They've been getting more and more physical as this game has gone along.
And it's starting to pay dividends. They've gotten a lot of trips to the line because of it in this second.
Leonard, the pass to Aldridge. Kicks it out to Ginobili. And again, it's the Spurs from deep.
Timely passing. Leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Everybody on the same page, completely in sync. Tremendous communication and awareness.
Passes it to Dellavedova. Parker with the steal. And now the fast break, Ginobili with the ball. And it's Leonard with the jam.
Agility leads to thievery there as he's got his hand in there to get the steal. Intelligent play to immediately start the break.
And Clark, that's been the story of this game so far. I mean, they cannot hand over any more easy points in the open floor.
And we always talk about getting good looks. Here's who's doing the best of it in the NBA. Number 1, LaMarcus Aldridge. Pau Gasol, third.
You can't say enough about these two guys shooting this season. Both their percentages, just incredible stuff.
Here's Dellavedova. He had 13 points in the win against Toronto.
And don't forget about his playmaking in that game either. I mean, he did a great job of attacking the D and creating opportunities for both himself and his teammates.
Ginobili outside. Good-looking screen by Gasol. And Leonard has it in the corner. And taken away by Johnson. Now Detroit moving it up. Jackson misses.
Now, nice work there to contest the finish inside.
You know, they got the shot they wanted, but his defense, I mean, deterred them from those plans.
Gasol against Morris. Kicks it out to Ginobili. 4 on the clock. Releases from 15. And Pau Gasol, the bucket on the assist by Ginobili. Gasol's got the lead up to 12 now for San Antonio. So many people overlook Pau Gasol prior to last season. Seemed to think that Clark, he was past his prime.
Well, he was a starter in the All-Star game and a huge reason the Bulls played as well as they did. It was a big season for him. A lot of GMs shaking their heads for not going harder after him.
Bertanis, he's checked in for San Antonio. And a switcher also for Detroit. Tobias Harris is checked in for Marcus Morris. Jackson dishes to Dellavedova. Harris, right side. Connects in the foul line jumper. Harris has got 7 points for the quarter.
And fellas, in this quarter, he's improved on what was already a very good performance in period number 1.
Parker kicks to Gasol. And he finishes it off with a one-handed jam.
And very little fight put up by the defense as he made his way to the bucket for the jam.
They did seem to take the cautious approach, Greg, when it came to defending that one. You're right.
And guys, it's not the time for caution now. I mean, they've got to be aggressive and take some risk to see if they can cut that lead down.
I'm not sure who was supposed to be on him that possession. I mean, apparently neither did the defenders.
Right side Aldridge. And it's thrown down hard with both hands.
Fellas, that two-hand monster slam was vicious.
I don't think there was anyone, and I mean anyone, that could have stopped him on that one.
I tell you what, I'm glad they didn't try because somebody might have got their feelings hurt.
And the shot is good. And that's 11 points for Tobias Harris.
And he's really shot the ball well, but it hasn't been contagious.
Now here's Parker. A 17-point game for him in the win against the Rockets in Houston.
But what stood out for me was his gorgeous playmaking out there. I mean, over and over, he was finding his teammates in a great position to score.
That is some real serious dime dropping there. Exquisite assist.
And so we conclude the first half. Spurs lead by 12. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin. Coach Popovich, a strong first half.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here alongside Kenny. San Antonio did not hesitate to set the pace. An exceptional game plan helped them open with a 12-4 run. By the end of the first quarter, their lead was 7. Then in quarter number 2, they actually increased their intensity to pull further out in front, finishing with a double-digit advantage at the half. And Shaq, what are your thoughts on how San Antonio played? And that's going to do it for now, as the second half is almost ready to...
Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters.
Checking out the game Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is having. 13 points, and he's chalked up 1 3-pointer on the day as well.
And Clark, I'm sure that won't be the last one. A lot of times he can get hot and stay hot from beyond.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for the second half of basketball. And Detroit looking at who they've got. Jackson and Caldwell-Pope, the guards. John Lure's out there with Marcus Morris. And it's Drummond in at the 5. And, of course, Tony Parker, so big for San Antonio in those championship runs. But word on the street was that Spurs coach Greg Popovich didn't always go easy on Tony. He really pushed him to the limit.
You know, it started back when Tony was invited to the Spurs summer camp before the 2001 draft. One of the scouts was really physical with Tony, really gave him a hard time, and that was really the start of his maturation process in learning to deal with the NBA.
And, you know, getting back to Popovich's relationship with Tony Parker, Pop made the decision to draft Parker. So he obviously saw something. But Pop's a perfectionist, and if you're going to play point guard for him, you've got to deliver consistently.
Leonard, and the dunk to finish it off. Beauty.
Boy, he threw out some punishment with that two-hand throwdown.
And Clark, now's the time to do it. Continue to attack that rim.
Beyond the arc. It's rebounded by Leonard. Spurs leading by 13.
And talking about Tony Parker, Pop's tough love with him really paid off. Tony eventually became incredibly consistent, culminating with him being named the Finals MVP back in 07.
Here's Aldridge. That's good, and it's Leonard with the assist. Leonard's got 4 assists now tonight.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Clearly just an example of a different mindset between these teams.
Morris with the bucket.
Boy, I tell you what, he loves getting looks like that from the three-point line. No one near him. That's a warm-up jumper for him.
And Green now, top of the key. He kicks it to Gasol. Here's Leonard. That's good again. His 7th basket, 7 for 10 from the floor.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Well, I agree with you. 4 of their last 5 baskets have been exactly of that variety.
Drummond sets the screen for Jackson. Shoots off the screen. Rejected by Gasol. And now running it up the court. Green pushing it all the way. Now the dish to Gasol. Green kicks to Leonard. Right side Gasol. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. Second shot opportunity. Leonard, no luck. Pistons trail by 14. Here's Caldwell-Pope. 13 points in the game. Third quarter here, and 3 minutes have come off the clock. Off target from the wing. San Antonio's gone 6 of 10 from three-point range, up over 50% for the ball game. And the dunk by Aldridge.
Excellent assist there. Just led him to the perfect spot.
For Detroit, they've gone 2 of 5 shooting here in the third quarter. Now a timeout called by Detroit.
And Tony Parker, at least some of his success can be attributed to playing with talented bigs. I mean, in his rookie season, he plays with both the Admiral and Tim Duncan. He kept that partnership going with Duncan for several more championships. So while talented, he's also been very fortunate.
Here's what San Antonio's going with right now. David Lee checked in for Gasol. Anderson comes in for LaMarcus Aldridge. And it's Mills in for Parker. The three from Mills, and he gets it to go. Mills has got 11.
There is no way a player like him can be left wide open like that. Did you pay attention to the scouting report?
Smith, the pass to Drummond. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Green. And out of bounds as the Spurs gain possession. Here's San Antonio now. They're on an 11-3 run right now. Here's Mills over in the corner, Green. And again, it's San Antonio. With a three. Well, talking about Parker and the bigs, Tony benefited from their presence, Clark, but they also benefited from his play.
Really, early in their careers, the only way to defend Parker and Duncan was to pack the lane, and once Tony developed a consistent jump shot, the only way to defend them was to hope and pray.
Right.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
And really a reflection of their superior effort level to this point. It seems to me they've gone after this win a little bit more.
Smith kicks to Drummond. And he uses the glass on the layup. Drummond's got 10 points.
And that's what he does. I mean, he is a bucket getter.
Green dishes to Lee. Good D by Drummond.
That's a huge part of what they want to do defensively. Limit his easy chances inside.
Smith outside. Lure the pass to Caldwell Pope. Dishes to Smith. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Floats one. Anderson with the block. And that's out of bounds. Detroit will retain possession. He's checked in for Detroit. Matthew Dellavedova comes in for Marcus Morris. Long range from the inbound. And there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time. Spurs leading by 22. And Mills kicks to Anderson. Feeds it to Leonard. Screen by Lee. Off the pick. And Kawhi Leonard gets the slam.
Lee with a solid pick that time.
Smith with it. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 7.5 points a game. Well, the Spurs just don't go on losing streaks very often, Greg. One perk of being a talented veteran group.
Yeah, how about the Spurs lost 4 games in a row twice last year. Over the last decade before that, Kevin, they had only lost 4 games in a row twice. Unbelievable.
Bertanis, he's checked in for San Antonio. Ginobili comes in for Green. And Detroit with a change here, too. Harris is checked in. Here's Smith. Here's Marjanovic. And he throws it down hard with one hand.
This guy is a beast on the board.
And when he gets those second chance points, GA, he does not waste one of them.
And you know what? It's always going to be a powerhouse finish with him. We know that for sure.
Johnson, he's checked in for Andre Drummond. Detroit on D. Fader on the way, and it's Lee getting it to go. Lee's got 6.
Even though there's a height disadvantage, he's still able to go up and over his man.
Well, he's fearless. I mean, there's nothing that concerns him. No matter what the matchup is, he's a guy that doesn't back down. He's beyond being intimidating.
Screen by Lee. Anderson dishes to Lee. Detroit with the rebound.
Good pick, but he just couldn't make it count.
Yeah, nice job of setting the screen by his teammate there, and I'm sure he appreciated it.
Here's Dellavedova. A look at his stats. He averages a bit over 8 points a game. That's good. And that's 13 points for Tobias Harris.
Yeah, I love the communication and the chemistry between those teammates.
Now here's Mills. He's guarded closer. Pass to Bertens. This one for 3. And again, it's the Spurs from deep. Here's Dellavedova. Now a timeout called by Detroit.
Yeah, can't be pleased with all these easy looks. They continue to give up there in the paint.
No, I'm sure he's not, Greg. I mean, their defense is showing a lot of holes, especially down low. That's unacceptable.
Tony Parker's checked in for the Spurs. Dellavedova kicks to Johnson. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
And guys, he's not the tallest or most imposing wing player, but Stanley Johnson has incredible strength and really unmatched confidence. One reason why so many were high on him in the draft.
And for Johnson out of Arizona, Greg, his strength, as you were talking about, is his biggest asset. Helps that he has this incredible arm span. And Clark, you know what? He told me he likes to play the 2K game.
Yeah, he does enjoy that. He likes to play the real game, too,
yeah,
because he's hyper-competitive, and I think he's got a chance to be a superb defender at the NBA level.
Here's Parker. Somehow ignores the... Tight D and gets the layup. Parker's got 11 points. Let's look at the energy stats, how the hustle game has been going for the Spurs.
Boy, their hounding, harassing effort at the defensive end, very impressive. And they forced quite a few turnovers as a result.
They have, but you also can't overlook how well they've defended the rim, as they've challenged every shot and also gotten quite a few blocks as well.
Nice ball movement by San Antonio. From 15 feet away, and that one goes long.
Major defensive lapse right there. I mean, he's not a player you can leave open for a jump shot. You've got to stay attached to him. They're lucky he couldn't punish them for it.
And the call will be against Tony Parker. That is his first foul of the game. For the Pistons, Morris is checked in for Johnson. And it's Jackson in for Ish Smith.
Reggie Jackson.
1:10 left in the third quarter. And Jackson gets it to go.
You can see that they're not as aggressive from the three-point arc. They had far more attempts in the first half.
Spurs leading by 21. The pass to Bertens. He feeds it to Parker. Stolen away. Here's Jackson, using his post move to get the 2 points. Jackson's got 10 points in the game.
It's got to be nice for them to know that game in and game out, his offense is going to be there for him.
Parker with it. Guarded now by Jackson. The 3 from Anderson. And the call will be against David Lee. That is his first foul of the game.
First personal foul.
We've got 33 seconds left in the third quarter. There's the screen. Jackson against Parker. Wing shot out. The way. Here's Marjanovic. There's the killer two-handed slam.
And doing some dirty work on the offensive glass.
And then follows it up, Greg, with heavy-duty jam on his mind with a terrific putback.
Got a pigeon on that one. Easy money right there, fellas. Going old school on you young fellas. Look that up, pigeon.
It's tipped. Stolen by Jackson. And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the fourth. Pistons trail by 17. The always reliable Parker and Green in the backcourt. Kawhi Leonard is out there with LaMarcus Aldridge. And it's Gasol in at the 5 down low. That's the San Antonio 5. And Drummond throws it down.
Nothing fancy there. Didn't need it.
Nope. His only concern right now, Clark, is getting the points on the board, and I don't mean style points.
I like the simplicity.
Well, there's also style just with the fact that he's able to have that kind of a finish, though. Still, I like that pretty one-handed flush.
6 swiped it away. Jackson against Parker. Jackson passes to Lure. Drummond with a screen on Gasol. Here's Jackson, and it's sent back by Aldridge. And Caldwell Pope gets the basket. And we've played through about a minute here in the fourth. And Parker, here we go. And it's wide right. Hits off the rim.
Yeah, but the hand in the face. It's critical that you contest his shots every time down the floor.
To the inside. That one's good. The San Antonio lead has got down to 11 on the bucket from Caldwell Pope.
Wow, and how huge has he been today? Really just giving his team a nice lift.
Yeah, and he's kept them close enough to be within striking range. I mean, the deficit would be much larger if not for the efficiency of his play.
Got a piece of it. Pass to Jackson. Morris outside. Back to Jackson. And the call will be against Tony Parker. That'll be his second foul of the game. Last quarter of play, about 2 minutes in now. It's good, and the San Antonio lead is cut to just 9 on the basket from Drummond.
And this offensive explosion has narrowed the gap.
Almost happened too late, partner. I mean, their offense didn't come alive until they were nearly out of it, but it is alive now.
Jackson with it. He's picked up by Parker. Pulled the shot a little left, but the bounce goes his way. And 12 points for Reggie Jackson. And a look at how the hustle game has been going for Detroit.
We've seen them make the extra effort from a defensive standpoint, closing out airspace and sending shots back.
You know, one other area they're doing well in is steals. I mean, they've knocked the ball loose a number of times and been able to track it down after the fact.
And they just refuse to go away and really have slowly worked themselves back into the game.
Greg, I love the fact there's no quitting. I mean, they know they can't cut the lead down all at once. They're not trying to bite off too big a piece of the pie. They're chipping away at it, just banging at that rock, and trying to chip away at it. And so far, so good.
Mills, he's checked in for Parker. Outside Jackson. There's the feed to Morris. To the paint. Here's Drummond, and fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two. They get Paul Gasol.
Andre Drummond is a big guy. At the NBA Draft Combine, he measures 7 feet tall with a 7'7" wingspan. And he tipped the scales at 280 pounds. That's a super heavyweight, my friends.
And on the topic of Andre Drummond, Greg, there are a few guys in the league who combine his kind of size with the type of athleticism he possesses. Fast up and down the floor, quick off his feet, even sports a little hang time. I mean, the guy's got a full package athletic.
You talked about the raw physical tools. Then you factor in the two things as a big that I really value: great hands and quick feet. And he's got that going for him. So you can't go through him, you can't go around him, and you certainly can't go over him. I mean, what's left?
We can only hope to contain him, as they say. Pistons trail by 10. Jackson kicks to Caldwell Pope. Drummond with a screen on Green. Caldwell Pope. Here's Jackson. Rebounded by the Spurs. Aldridge has got his 3rd rebound on the night.
Their game plan needs to change if they're going to get out of this hole because he is just not there offensively.
High post try. Shot is off. The Pistons go the other way with it. Following this game, they hit the road. They'll take on the Knicks in New York. That will conclude their brief 2-game road trip.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Yeah, I think they've got to ramp up the aggressiveness, Greg. I mean, if they don't, things are just going to get worse from here.
How about this run they're in the midst of, on the verge of tying it up or maybe even taking the lead?
Has been an unreal turnaround, and I give a lot of credit to the defense right along with what they did on offense because the defense actually gave them the spark they needed. How about that, breaking out the Statue of Liberty on that dunk?
A nice way to pad that lead a little more.
Yes, indeed.
Drummond the screen. Jackson drives in, and the shot is good, dropping in off the front of the rim.
Boy, I tell you what, nice little run here they're going on.
And getting to the 10 has been the key. They're getting point-blank looks time and time again.
And the dunk by Aldridge.
And the deeper we get into this game, it seems like the more the offenses are in rhythm.
Without question, I mean, both of these teams are firing on full broadband bandwidth. I mean, full throttle ahead.
Knocked away. So it's the Spurs now. San Antonio leading by 8. Kicks to Mills. Green against Drummond. Right side Aldridge. Clock at 6. Out to the right wing. Mills. Good, and Aldridge gets the assist. And the Spurs lead by 10.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
You know, the defense, Greg, has really been kept off balance because of the outstanding passes. 4 straight field goals have been made off an assist. Make it 10 of their last 12 points coming off assists.
You have to love the ball movement.
Outside Jackson. Morris a screen. He's looking for Drummond and finds him. Fade away, and the bank shot is good.
And how does he get that one to go? No idea.
I don't have an idea either. A little heat check there, but yep, he's still cooking, and Greg, he's cooking with gas.
And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. For a long time in San Antonio, it's been about the big 3, and rightfully so with all their wins, and Kawhi Leonard seems to be their future.
And Kawhi and the big 3 recognize that and are trying to ease the transition period, and if you know the Spurs, they'll make a smooth transition, won't they, Kevin?
Absolutely. San Antonio making a switch here. Parker's checked in. Here's Caldwell Pope.
San Antonio foul call.
And guys, you know, Cantavius Caldwell Pope, this guy screams potential at you. I mean, perfect size and length and speed for a 2-guard. He plays both ends. Right now, it's all about consistency for him.
The Spurs making a switch here. Ginobili's checked in. On the topic of Caldwell Pope, he's the kind of guy who needs a year to feel his way around. In college, Greg, you may recall he showed dramatic improvement between years 1 and 2. The same thing has been true in the pros.
Yeah, and he has everything going for him. I mean, excellent outside shot, tremendous defensive tools. He just needs to add some strength and stay in attack mode to reach the next level in his development. And just a step ahead of the D in that possession there, making the pass. Nice assist.
Aldridge with a screen on Jackson. Parker drives in, and it's Lure with the rebound.
Well, you know, they're in the lead, but he's still been frustrated from an offensive standpoint.
Jackson kicks to Caldwell Pope. The 3-pointer, no good.
Well, he had one three-pointer in the first half, but so far in the second, he's come up with goose eggs.
And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Morris.
And really no choice but to lunge for that pass to make sure it didn't get through.
Yeah, and that was important. Probably would have been a quick 2 points if he doesn't get a hand on it and knock it out of bounds.
Ginobili dishes to Parker. Tries it from 9.
This touch has disappeared on him this quarter. He just hasn't been able to get it going.
And that's sort of been the story here today, hasn't it?
Pistons trail by 13. Now a timeout called by Detroit. And for LaMarcus Aldridge, always praised for his terrific shooting, his rebounding. As we know, Greg, has always been fantastic. Over the past 2 seasons, he's averaged double-digit boards.
And that's why so many teams wanted him in this last free agency period. His ability to put points on the board as well as clean the boards. What a deadly combination.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Well, over the break, I listened in on Stan Van Gundy's huddle. He told them that they simply have to step up, saying if we don't make a move now, it's going to be too late. Give them everything you've got. Kevin?
Out to Morris. Drummond with it. He's picked up by Lee. Plenty of space. Lure can't hit.
You know, on the topic of Aldridge's rebounding, I mean, he doesn't do it by banging people around. He does it with positioning, timing, and length. And you can say that about most of his game. Quietly, effective, and impactful.
Hey, guys, going back to Aldridge, last season was a difficult one for him. He had the torn ligament in his left thumb, but still fought through it to become the Blazers' all-time leader in rebound.
Parker against Jackson. He dishes it to Caldwell Pope. Knocked loose and out of bounds as the Spurs gain possession.
And tonight's battle is going to end with a very clear winner, leaving nothing to chance. Impressive win for San Antonio.
They really had it going, Clark. Their offense propelled them.
Yeah, in this case, it was the higher shooting percentage that made the difference.
And the wins continue to come in fairly easy for these guys in what's been a very strong year, to say the least. Tonight will push them up to 56 wins.
And, you know, this is a win they wanted badly, guys. They did not want to get swept in the season series.
Most definitely. I mean, even though you see opponents outside of your conference only twice a year, you still don't want to have that feeling of being swept.
And when you look back at this one, what an amazing performance this was for Aldridge. You have to love the way that he was closing out on defensive trips. He would always body up, and it's why he ended with so many boards.
Parker double-teamed. Back to Ginobili. Lets the three fly. Rebounded by the Pistons.
You know, 9 times out of 10, he's going to knock that one down. He'll spray that one on you.
It's Jackson with the drive. No good with the elbow jumper. San Antonio with the ball. Earlier in the game, they held a 25-point lead. Here's Caldwell Pope. Passes it to Jackson. Again, the miss by Jackson. And here is Parker. Outside Aldridge. And so it's San Antonio easily taking this one. Some good moments throughout this one, but they had the clear advantage down the stretch.
Yeah, and I thought good execution really played a big part throughout.
And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke, standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Well, LaMarcus, a fine performance for you individually, and it certainly seemed like this team...
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Many thanks, Kevin. So now we move on to our Jordan LaMarcus Aldridge.
I don't know if there's a fan base that loves their star more than this crowd. He gets jealous, and he feeds off that support. Once they got behind him, he became...
And that'll do it for tonight. For Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Harlan, and our illustrious 2K Sports crew, this is Ernie Johnson. Have a good night, everybody.